Another day of blood in the streets for the crypto market. You have Bitcoin coming down, all of crypto coming down, stock market pumping, gold pumping. So why is Bitcoin and crypto down for the day when the other risk-on markets are moving towards the upside? We'll discuss what you can expect next for the crypto markets going forward. How deep could this correction go? When will it end? These are all major pertinent questions which we have to address in today's show. So smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and definitely make sure you are subscribed to the channel. You can see on the banter bubbles on the daily time frame, pretty much pain across the entire board with literally only one coin on the daily showing just a little bit of green, and that being Casper. That is one of our top positions. We'll go through a whole bunch today. Should you be scared? Should you be scared? Should you be selling, or should you be buying the dip? What should you be doing? Well, let's get into it, and I'll start off over here just with the high time frame because we have had the monthly close. And based on that monthly close, we can extrapolate some of that data for what to expect next for the month of August and also September. Are these usually good or bad months within the crypto cycle? We'll have a look at that. Well, keeping it super simple, I think this is a chart that everybody should post on their wall. Support, resistance, flip. I'll let you be the author of the story. What do you think comes next? But ultimately, that is your picture, right? For anyone that's new out here, I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler alert. When you flip a very high time frame level of resistance into support and you've spent this much time over here, you would be looking for higher prices. So this is definitely a choppy period within the market. And from a seasonality perspective, it isn't always the best when you go into the months of September or August and September. And I'll show you why, right? But in a bull market, when you get your fear and greed going all the way back down to these lower levels, look at that. Did it just reset right now? Okay, there we go. That's back to normal. We're down to 52 into that neutral territory. Anywhere between neutral and fearful in a bull market are strong buying opportunities for the long run. And seasonality, this is what we typically expect, right? You can see that for the most part, August and September are actually not very good months when it comes to Bitcoin. But usually when you go into the fourth quarter, that's where things start to get really, really heated up and you start to get moving. And you can actually look at the seasonality pattern for Bitcoin over the past 10 years. And it had this to say, and then we'll have a look at some of the other data a little bit deeper. You can see between August and October, so between that August and September more specifically, you expect a seasonal low to form within Bitcoin. And this is data pulled from the last 10 years of Bitcoin cycles. And it says over here, on average, Bitcoin tended to lose 13.64% over those 2 months. Please keep that number in the back of your mind. I'm going to show you exactly why. So it says there's a period of weakness, usually beginning on around August the 16th, ending around October the 7th. That's, again, historically what's been the case. But the markets tend to get smarter and smarter. And sometimes that corrective phase may have already taken place because they tend to front run that idea. Remember, the markets are forward looking and people are constantly trying to get in before the actual moves take place. So is it possible that the correction is pretty much over? The low that we had down to $53,000 does denote that 13.64% average. Well, we can have a look at some of the charts and assess using the data. Now, when we look at the data over here, this corrective phase has now officially been 140 days, and we've had a drawdown percentage from top to bottom of 27.48%, which is totally in the realm of what you would expect for these corrective phases. We in the fifth correction, you can see the first one was 29 days with 23% down. The next one, 70 days with 20.31% down. The next one was a long one, 102 days with 22% down. And then, of course, you have this one over here, 30 days and 21% down. So 140 days now being the longest. But if we zoom in and we actually just look a little bit more detail with each of these pullbacks on a weekly time frame, what I did this morning is I actually had a look at what if the drawdowns look like within that fifth corrective phase, right? On the biggest weekly candle downsides that we've seen from top to bottom of those wicks, what were those drawdowns like? Well, we saw 12.64%, 11.84%, 9.55%, 16.43%, 11%, 16.15%, and then we have 9.2%. 0.24%. The point being over here is that on the further end, you're looking at from top to bottom on a strong weekly sell-off about 16.5%, right? Now, if we take out our tool over here and we can actually have a look at what that would look like for a 16.5% drawdown, let's just quickly get rid of that 1 second. All right, so if we grab our tool over here and we go from the top of this candle over here, currently we've seen 9.35%. What happens if we went for the full 16.5%? Well, let's take it all the way down, 16.5%. That's been one of the longest corrections that we've had. That would take price back down to $58,000, which is going to be right over here, right? $58,000. There we go, into the zone over here, which means you will still defend that key level. Remember when we looked at the Bitcoin hash ribbons blue buy signal, which did fire off recently, we said that so long as we don't get closing candles below this major low over here, then it creates a higher low in the making, and that would be rather strong for a higher time frame outlook. And you can have a look at this chart over here. Now, when you look for where that high low could potentially come into play, and by the way, it could already be here at this exact level. No guarantee you even get down to the zone. But if you do continue to pull back as per the seasonality, well, you have confluence of the 200 MA and 200 EMA, which is coming in right here, just a little bit above that $58,000 level, which I've shown you would be the 16.5% drawdown from top to bottom. And remember, this is going to be one of the worst case scenarios in the sense of what we've seen in the entirety of this consolidation. And then you have major support, which is going to be coming in over there. Now, there it is. That's the Bitcoin blue buy signal. It has fired off, and this has only failed 3 times in the entirety of every signal that we've got, giving it an over 90% hit rate. So I like my odds over here that if price does pull back into this region over here, I'm definitely going to be looking to be a buyer. The other thing that I want to mention is obviously we're coming off very, very low volatility, but for anyone out there that has an eye for the technicals, well, you may notice that there is also a potential for an inverse head and shoulders, right? So if we have a look over here, you have your left shoulder coming down to this zone over here. You have that forming, coming down to your head, pushing up towards the right shoulder, which now may be forming. And if price just so happens to come down into that $58,000 to $60,000 region, give or take, somewhere within the zone over here, and you form the high low into the 200 EMA and MA, well, that would form your right shoulder. And you can actually work out a measured move based off of this. Well, let's quickly change the colors over here so that anybody that's on a mobile device will be able to see this. We'll make it yellow. There you go. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And then we can work out what would the measured move be by looking at the bottom of the head all the way up to the neckline over there. And we can measure out the breakout level. Now, how far would that take you if the pattern bros are going to be correct and we do actually end up seeing a nice move over here? Let's quickly grab the, where is it over here? Let's grab the tool for, here it is, this one over here. Let's grab a price label and we'll throw it in over there. That would take price to $80,747. So food for thought, something to have a look at over there. That would be a pretty big move. So from the bottom of the right shoulder, should you get that trade over there, from the bottom of the right shoulder to the breakout, you'd be looking at about a 32% move on Bitcoin alone. From the breakout and confirmation of leaving the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders, that gives you just shy of a 20% move. So really looking good for potential continuation, but we must always have our invalidations, right? Where do things fall out of bed and turn very, very bad? Well, I've marked out the scary level would be taking out not last week's low, but the week before. If you take out the 2-week low, that's going to start to look really, really dangerous. That also means that you're losing your 21 exponential moving average, which is the major support, which has been rising towards the upside. And I want to be clear on this. This is more specifically on a closing basis, right? Because if you look at the 2-week low, well, that's coming in at $60,666.59. And I just gave you a scenario for why you could potentially see price come all the way down below that $60,000 region, but we don't expect closing price action at those levels. If it closes at those levels, it changes the entire outlook. Wicks down into that are still fair game, but that is where your scary situation starts to play out, because when you look at the price action over here, you can see we have a clear, strong range level with your resistance, support, obviously little order block that led to the bear market breakdown over there, reclaim back into the range, and was long and strong. And now you'll be looking at yet another deviation over there if you do confirm the breakdown. But I think that's unlikely to be the case. The most likely case is that we continue to chop around these regions and build up new momentum, prepping for high prices, which is what we spoke about yesterday, where you can see over here the funding rates are still pretty flat on the high time frames, and even on the low time frames they've gone negative. Negative funding in a bull market is also a buy opportunity, in the same way that when you look at that fear and greed and it resets down into the fearful to neutral zone, it also becomes a buy the dip opportunity. So something that we're looking at over there. And here is the deltas on some of the other coins, right? All of them negative on this move towards the downside, with shorts obviously chasing price towards the downside. And that can create a little bit of a squeeze. So high time frame, most of the, or not most, actually every single one of these coins that are listed over here in terms of the altcoin sector still remain flat to negative on their funding. And the last time that we saw a frothy market when it came to the altcoins was in March, right? In that first and second week of March, that's where people were opening up massive longs. Nobody wants to know anything about longing altcoins at the moment. You can see over here that the level, or at least in terms of the liquidation levels and where the stop orders are placed for short traders, it's going to be all the way up here at 70,000. We hit the bottom side liquidity. We spoke about it yesterday. Don't be surprised if you see a continuation of that chop up and down until such time as you leave the trading range. And yesterday, I did outline to the Discord just before going to bed last night that there was a possibility that you were going to see price action come down into this zone over here, which is 63,457, sweeping down into that range low on the low time frames. And that was for the Whale Room Discord. I've been updating them every step of the way. And that's exactly what we got, right? There it is, the chart in real time. I started to notice how price was obviously rejecting over here from the 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. And that could lead to one more sweep down to flush all of the longs out of their positions, and then look to re-establish longs off of the range lows over here, and you can play it back to the top side. So ultimately, that's what we're looking at. If you do want to open up any longs, or you're looking to trade alongside us, then remember, guys, there is the Bybit competition. That's a Cybertruck giveaway. The terms are a little bit different to what I initially thought. It actually is more favorable to the majority of you out there, because anyone can participate, right? So it actually is supposedly working as a raffle, and the way that it works is that there's a certain amount of volume that you have to do. Let's just quickly see over here. There we go. For every $1 in trading volume, you will get a raffle ticket. Very, very easy. So the higher your trading volume, the more you trade in and out of the market, the more volume you drive, then the higher the chances are that you can win the Cybertruck. The link is in the description below. First, you need a Bybit account. Use the link below. You'll get a sign-up bonus of up to $30,000. There it is. And then come through and click the Cybertruck competition link over there and join in. I'm currently ranked, I believe, there we go, 42nd. I'm 42nd in terms of the volume. So we'll continue to monitor that and see how that goes. Now, also looking at the DXY, it is still pressure towards the downside. Low time frame, you can see that we've broken structure. We're trying to break below this very, very key level of support, right? This is going to be major support over here, the gray box area that I'm highlighting in yellow. Now, we need to get back below that. If you start to see a break below this level over here, which is going to be below 103 for the DXY, that's where you'll start to see the risk on assets really get moving. So timing wise, we did outline my little LARP lines over here are in line with that seasonality, right? Where it showcases over here anywhere from about August into September is where we're looking for the breakdown of the zone. So completely in alignment with the seasonality chart over here, saying you're looking for major lows within the crypto sector around about that time period. So let's keep an eye out on that. Also, we, of course, did have the Fed funds rate come out yesterday, unchanged at 5.5. And if you look over here, you can see that Don Crypto Trades just gave a little bit of an update on how the speeches went. And he says Powell pretty much as dovish as he could get, which means that he was kind to at least the future of the market, speaking in a kind way, soft-toned. That's what dovish means, like a dove, right? He opened the door for September cuts, which will be pretty much solidified. And he says after that conversation, unless you get some sort of brutal CPI prints which come out, 48 days to go until September meeting. And he says, I think we play ball until then. We might see some short-term sell the news after the first cut in September. Again, in alignment with that seasonality, right? August, September, October, somewhere around there. And then he says good narrative until then. And if you look now for the next target rate probability, which is going to be the 18th of September, you can see there's about an 86.5% chance that they will be cutting the rates, right, in September. So it does look more probable than not. Also, the Bank of England is expected to cut rates today, and that's actually for the first time since 2020, since the COVID situation that we had. Why is crypto dumping? Well, from a fundamental perspective, Fred Krueger believes it's this. He says $2 billion again, just moved from Mt. Gox, 80% done. We spoke about the creditors yesterday and how they're actually unlikely to start dumping their coins, right? Because we've seen the volumes of what's happened on Bitstamp and Kraken, which is where those Bitcoins went to the creditors. That's where they're getting paid out. And there's no difference in the selling volume when they receive the funds versus any other time in history, right? It's all completely averaged out into it's normal. It's completely normal over there. So we don't expect that they're going to be dumping those coins. Fear of Kamala victory in the air, right? Kamala started to pick up on the poly market rankings. You can see that she started to increase some of the markets, show that she's gone ahead of Trump in terms of the vote. So that's one reason. And then he says every year the Fed will ease in 40 days. This is part of the cycle is for the bulls, right? Don't panic. Don't panic. So it's totally in alignment with that. I'm looking at over there. The key level to hold, $60,000 for the bulls. The closer you get to that, the more risk you can put on the table because you're closer to your invalidation level of exiting the market if you're wrong, right? So keep an eye out on the markets. Don't get too fearful. Stay strong because it's a very, very important time within the market. And we also spoke a lot about the high probability bounce zones for the stock market. And you can see weekly candles are turning green. Dow Jones back testing into the breakout level, which is going to be the prior range high, now flipped as support and pushing out off of that zone. We still have Coinbase coming into a super key area right over here, right? Super key area between about $215 to $220, I think is a great zone to stack some of that the Coinbase stock over there. And again, I'll remind you, that's for those of you out there who you want exposure to altcoins without taking on too much risk, where you have to try and pick the perfect altcoin in a sea of hundreds of thousands, if not even millions of different tokens that are out there. Instead, you can invest in the picks and shovels. And Coinbase is going to be one of the top contenders over there. Look, I prefer to stick within the crypto realm personally. So my exposure to Coinbase, since I'm a little bit more of a degen, is buying things like Brett, right? Brett, the meme coin, because the meme coin sector continues to outperform. And that's something we're going to talk about, right? You can see the meme coin sector, specifically in Solana, continues to outperform. And that's one reason why I am placing my bets over there. All right, if you look at Ethereum, the net outflows were again negative. So negative 77.21 million in terms of outflows yesterday. Grayscale continued to dump over there, and this needs to be absorbed by all the other ETFs, and then we'll see what happens with that ETH ETF. Let's quickly look at the US ETF over here. What happened over there? That one was slightly positive, only 298,000, but BlackRock continues to buy massive amounts of Bitcoin, really massive amounts of Bitcoin. Okay, looking at ETH BTC, still looking at a potential high low in the making over here on the left-hand chart. That is the daily time frame, and then the same thing over here on the USD pair. But I must caution you over here that you did backtest perfectly into that level as resistance, and that's going to be an important zone to get above over here. So previously we marked off the yellow zone over here. You can start to say momentum will shift, and you'll confirm the high low if you can now get above 3,416, right? That is the beauty of waiting for confirmation, but it looks likely that at least if the rest of the market bounces over here, you will see price break above that level over there. So continuing on, still shorts in control in the low time frames. This is the hourly chart, open interest moving towards the upside, and you still have leverage coming down. That's showing you that shorts are still in control, driving the market towards the downside. Total 3 coming down ever so slightly. Look, you'd also, similar to Bitcoin, be looking for the development of a higher low over the next coming months. So maybe do something like that, form a higher low into August, September, break back above here, get into the yellow zone, and that's where things will be cooking. Now, you always want to establish your positions in the discount zone, and you want to be selling into the premium zone. When you look at a chart like this and you divide it up into various different areas, you have over here the top half. This is going to be level 1, and then you have the bottom half over here is level 2. But that's only significant, when you're chopping around like that. You can see most of the time has actually been spent over here within this phase. So you subdivide that into 0.1 and 0.2, and this becomes the discount zone, which is where you want to establish your positions. And this becomes the premium zone, which is where you're looking to take profits on those positions, or at least reduce your risk. So as price moves down into the discount zone over here, this is where you want to look to establish some of those positions. Do keep an eye out on that. And one of the sectors that continues to outperform, as we said, is Solana, right? If you review and have a look at Solana in relation to the rest of the coins, the other L1s over here, you can see absolutely ripping above and beyond everything. As McKenna says over here, Sol ETH continues to consolidate below its all-time highs and expecting on signs of risk for breakout. It indicates that exposure to Solana ecosystems and memes going forward is a good move, right? And if you go over here to the Sol ETH chart, this is what it looks like. Remember, consolidations into resistance lead to big bad breakouts. Now, it's not over yet. This is resistance until flipped into support. So treat it as such, but understand that if this gets going above here, you're going to see Solana really, really get going. It's going to start to move. And USD-wise, Solana is coming back to support. So giving you a second opportunity if you weren't able to get in on that dip. Right now, it's obviously important that this level holds over here, which is going to be at 160. Establishing longs over here at 160 are probably not going to be bad for continuation, at the very least up to 200. If it does break down below that, of course, as always, we must have a level of invalidation, and trouble really starts to set in when you break below this level over here, which is 155. Break below that, close candles below 160, and trouble will start to set in where you might have confirmed a major fake out, right? So we'll keep an eye out on that. Sui was apparently doing well. Let's see. No, not really. I don't see that. I just read somewhere that Sui was one of the only candles, or at least coins green yesterday, but it doesn't look to be the case. What else do we have? Let's have a look at Casper. How's Casper doing after its all-time high break? Still showing relative strength against the rest of the market. Look at that downward candle immediately being brought back up. This one looks like it's ready to move up to 23 cents. And if the rest of the market bounces, expect that will be the case, right? Expect that will be the case. By the way, quick mention, if those of you out there want to learn more about trading and analysis and how to view the markets, remember, I do have Whale School, which is free, right? 13 days, 8 hours left to go. Sign up while there is still spots. I haven't even checked if there is any available spots left because I haven't looked at the dashboard, but if there is, sign up now while you still can, and join me in Whale School. We do live workshops, right? So we'll go through things on the daily. All right. Baked coming into support. We can have a look at some of these memes, just scanning through quickly. Are any of them moving? Resistance dog is definitely one that I'm looking at coming into the major range lows over here and looking for support to be found, right? I think I have a better chart on this side. Let me bring this one up over here. Give me a second. I have it on my other screen. So there you go. Let's just chuck that in. So this one's got a bit more history. So I'm looking at this for resistance dog. Price coming into this upsloping trend line, strong horizontal channel. I'm a big buyer at these levels, right? Anywhere here between 32 and up to about 50 cents. I know it's a pretty broad range, but that's the nature of these meme coins, right? That's a 50% range. Huge range. But I'm bullish on this for the long term. I think is a higher beta play against Telegram or TON. When TON does get moving and retail come back into the market, I think TON will be viewed this cycle level similar to the likes of AVAX, Solana, Luna, Cardano, XRP of the prior cycles. I think people will place it into one of those top tier coins, and I want exposure to resistance dog at these levels, to participate in that upside move. Okay, Bitcoin dominance. You can see the RSI coming back into the trend line that it broke. It broke the downsloping trend line, coming back to test that level. Bitcoin dominance is still more bullish than bearish, despite the upsloping channel over here, or at least the in terms of a chart pattern, the rising wedge, which is a bearish formation, but we have more going for the bulls than the bears over here, because it is above the mid-range level, which is going to be 53.83%, right? So patience must be employed when it comes to trading and analysis and investing. Remain patient, right? You don't want to front run too hard when it comes to these particular markets. What else have we got? Let me know in the comments if there's any particular chart requests that you guys want. And then again, by the way, if you guys do want to join into 𝗲𝗏, I just taught them about what 𝗕𝗢𝗕𝗢 is today. If you guys want some 𝗕𝗢𝗕𝗢, then I don't know, 𝗲𝗏 is probably not the place. If you want realism, then 𝗲𝗏 is the place. Jump into 𝗲𝗏. Absolutely amazing community. The link is in the description below over here. And I do feel that we've absolutely been crushing it. So what else? What else do you guys want? Let's have a look at some of the coins, some of the requests. And then just a reminder, tomorrow, I won't be doing a live show tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to take the day off. I actually have to fetch my fiance from the airport. She's arriving in Dubai. That's point number one. Point number two, Rand's going to be releasing a pre-recorded video in my time slot, so you guys can watch that. Okay, let's have a look. 𝗕𝗢𝗓. Somebody wants 𝗕𝗢𝗓. Let's have a look at 𝗕𝗢𝗓. How's 𝗕𝗢𝗓 doing? I love their ticker, ATH, which stands for all-time high, right? All-time high. 𝗕𝗢𝗓's got a nice ticker. It was at range lows. Is it bouncing? Okay, almost got to range low, started to put in a bit of a bounce. I told you if you can get this around range lows over here at 0.062, I do think it's a worthwhile buy. There was a lot of money raised for this project, and I think they have massive, powerful market makers that will be defending this level, this price level. So that's one to look at. Okay, what else? 𝗬𝗓𝗡. Let's have a look at 𝗬𝗓𝗡. Did 𝗬𝗓𝗡 hold that key level amidst the sell-off? It was at a key level yesterday. Let's see. Did it hold it is the question. It's currently losing it. This is a zone that you want to see it bounce, right? But you can also mark out the 50%. Let's just double check this. If you have a look at that, from this zone over here to confirmed high, you are going to be finding some support. There we go. Very close. 27.46, right? 27.46. I can just lift that ever so slightly. There we go. Just round up, $27.50. $27.50 is a key zone. You really want to hold that 50% level. Okay, 𝗕𝗓𝗓. I can have a look at 𝗕𝗓𝗓. I know 𝗕𝗓𝗓 got absolutely smacked. Let's see where 𝗕𝗓𝗓 is at now. 𝗕𝗓𝗓, I think, moved over to Cosmos. It obviously came from beforehand. Oh, my word. Not looking good, bruv. Definitely not looking good.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
I'm sorry for your loss, sir. Look, it's obviously they moved from Luna to Cosmos, but yeah, it's not looking good. Straight downtrend. Okay, on more serious note, let's have a look over here. Look, will this be an ultimate low? Maybe, but this is what I speak to people about a whole lot is, buying ultimate lows. You might not lose dollars if you can buy the exact low, but you lose opportunity, because the opportunity cost would be that you do something like this, and then you just chop here for months, right? Not 4 months, but for many months like this. You just chop and chop and chop, right? Let's say you do that for a year. Then was there any good having your money in this when you could have rather just been buying something with momentum? Let me know in the comments. Does anyone know why 𝗕𝗓𝗓 is tanking? What you can do is you can also go over here and you can go to 𝗕𝗓𝗓. Let's see. And then you click on it on the bubble section. And then there's a whole community. And then they chat about it. But am I signed in over here? Why is it dumping? Let's see. Why is it dumping this hard? Bro, there we go. Okay, we'll see what they say over there. Go have a look. You can check over there. It looks like 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗘, right? At least that's what the comments say over there. So let's see. What else have you guys got? Yeah, look, I wouldn't be a knife catch on this personally. From what I've heard, they are still building though. Isn't this the one that's quite heavily involved with Delphi? And there was something that went down yesterday. I think they got exploited or something. Okay, smoking chicken fish. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the smoking chicken fish. Where's this thing? Here it is. Okay, smoking chicken fish. Okay, I mean, look, this is going to be a support level. It has moved a lot. That's the only thing I have to caution. You know, remember the meme cycles. Like, if you look over here, what I want you to think about is price move from here to here in 153 days. It did 3,700%. Now, you can go to the Wall Street. There we go. Wall Street cheat sheet. Let's go to the Wall Street cheat sheets over here. Now, what you want to do is you want to sometimes compare to these Wall Street cheat sheets. Let's just see. Can I just open only the image? There we go. That looks much better. Okay, so when you look at some of these meme coins literally in a matter of weeks can go through this entire cycle. So always ask yourself where you are on something like this. Is there, psychologically, is there thrill in this coin right now? Is there a little bit of euphoria in this coin right now? I mean, I think the answer is yes. Time to get fully invested? I don't know. Are we in this optimism? This rally is real? I think we're beyond that. I'll buy more on margin. I know they don't offer this one on margin, but that's probably what people are thinking. I'm a genius. We're going to be rich. We're part of the chicken fish church and we're going to be rich. This is the thinking, right? This is the narrative over there. And in terms of a chart, though, look, in all fairness, this is still bullish. You have an uptrend over here, putting in higher highs, higher lows, consolidating near all the all-time highs. But I've learned, you know, with meme coins, you do just have to be a little bit careful. If this does break out, though, I can tell you, it's not it's kind of a strange ascending triangle, but let's work it from here and say the measured move would be up from there to there. That would give you another 105% move. Okay, Rune. Let's have a look at Rune. All right, how is Rune doing? All right, let's see. Okay, so we're looking at a potential long over here. I do have this on spot. That's obviously out the question now. You've lost these levels. That's failed. Now you have to look out below. You may come all the way back down here, right? You may come all the way back down to 380. So watch for another higher low to be formed over here. You got low 1, and I'd be looking for this on Rune, right? Something like that. The next higher low to be formed somewhere over here above the previous one. Similar to Bitcoin, you don't want your coin to take out that low. Okay, same as you don't want Bitcoin to take out that low. Whatever your favorite coin is, you want to see it forming higher lows above this level. You don't want it to take out that low. Will the CME gap be filled now? That is from Mark Forster or Forster. Let's have a look. Yes, I think it. No, I can't say it will, but we can have a look at, where's this chart over here? I did do an update for the whale remembers this morning on the CME gap, so we can have a look at that. Is it on this chart? No, it was on this one. 1 second. I always just need to get my charts in order. So the CME gap, let's go over here. We'll drop down to the 8 hour, and here it is. Okay, so remember everything I showed in terms of the inverse head and shoulders. You're looking for a higher low in relation to this area, the Bitcoin blue buy signal. All of it is ripe for the making. If prices do come down into the zone, here is your gap, right? Your CME futures gap. There it is. You can see price on the Friday closed over here. On the Monday, gap towards the upside. That creates the gap over there. And that is between $58,600 and down to $60,925. Now, if we measure from the top to the bottom and we say the 16.5%, like I spoke about, well, would you look at that? 16.5% would take you exactly into that gap over there. And that would be one of the higher sell-offs that we've seen, one of the biggest sell-offs that we've seen, right? One of the worst case scenarios. Okay, guys, also smash the like button. Smash the like button. How many people do we have here? 2,340. Please do me a favor, smash the like button over there. It really helps to get the show content out there. And then, yeah, we can do a few more requests as well. Okay, 𝗥𝗬𝗓. Yeah, let's have a look at 𝗥𝗬𝗓. This was obviously at one point in the cycle, had a lot of relative strength. So how is 𝗥𝗬𝗓 doing? Okay, let's move back onto the daily time frame. Okay, coming down pretty hard over here. I'm just going to say the same as the rest. You know, you're looking for a major high low to form. All you need to do is really understand what's happening with Bitcoin, and whatever Bitcoin does, the rest will do. So if Bitcoin starts to bounce, you know, a little bit lower than what we're at now, you'd expect something like that. Low, high, low, you have a great opportunity over there. Stops go below, and you can look for continuation. Okay, Chainlink was right at the entry zone, still there, still holding up, right? One of the only coins that's green with only 0.14%. You know, at this point, you can eliminate all risk as shown over here. On the long trade, you got the move up. If you took a little bit of profits, good for you. You can start to look to re-enter. You can also wait for signs of strength before re-entering. Wait for the rest of the market to transition and turn over there. Okay, what else? Filecoin. I have to look at Filecoin. That is one that someone just requested. And, you know, Filecoin has a lot of fundamental bullish things, but I'm pretty sure the price chart looks terrible. Let's have a look. Let's see. And my speculation is correct, right? Huge move towards the upside over here. Look at that. That was an absolute pump, right? You don't really want to see something bleed out like that. 281% pump, pretty much back to the lows. The question you always want to ask yourself is, you know, when last were you at these levels? And the answer is over here, November 2022. You were at those levels in November 2022. So let's go look at some other coins like Bitcoin. Where was Bitcoin in November of 2022? Okay, there we go. This is the wrong one. November 2022 was, wow. So May, June, July, August, September, November. It's right here, right? November, literally. That's what Bitcoin's done since November 2022. What about Solana since November 2022? So look at that, November 2022. That's what Solana's done. 1,066%. So that's why you want to buy things that are showing signs of strength, right? You're looking for volatility and momentum in these markets. Volatility and momentum. Okay, very, very important, volatility and momentum when it comes to the markets. That is absolutely critical. All right. Let's see what else. What other coins? Let's have a look at a few more. By the way, guys, there is a write-up that I did as well on the Mt. Gox coins, which is in the Discord. If you guys do want to go and have a read up on that and what it means for the markets, it is going to be there. I think let's end it over here. I'm doing another show on Saturday. I'll see all of you guys then. I think we've taken enough requests. I'll see you on Saturday. And the whale remembers, I'll see you on the live session in a couple of hours' time. Have a great day, everybody, and cheers for now.